What's going on, YouTube? In this video, I want to talk about judging books by their cover. A lot of people, when they go out to see a movie or something like that, or a lot of people already pass judgment on them, and I was one of those type of guys who was doing that. I used to do it myself. And I've realized I've been making a horrible mistake of doing that because I've been missing out on some really good movies. And I kind of, at the same time, I did like over expect on some movies that, like, just because I didn't watch them, it made me think that the movie was much better than what it was. Like a movie like Scarface, for instance, a lot of people love Scarface, but I just honestly can't. I don't like Scarface at all. The movie is not really like a movie attraction to me. Like, a lot of people are like, oh man, Scarface is legendary, it's a legendary movie. And, you know, honestly, for a movie like Scarface, people say, well, it's about going from being at the top to the, being at the bottom, moving up to the top. You know, he went from nothing to having something. You know, but I can't really relate to a movie like Scarface because I'm not a drug dealer. I don't sell drugs. So I really can't relate to a movie like Scarface. You know, and now if it's something different, like if it's a sci-fi movie or something like that, then I don't have to really relate to the movie. It's just, you know, I have to kind of understand the movie and kind of see it in a way of it makes sense to me. That's how I feel when I watch a movie. That movie has to make sense to me. Like, I could sit and watch Menace to Society way more than I can watch a movie like Scarface. I enjoy Menace to Society way more than I would enjoy a movie like Scarface. And, you know, like I was saying before about judging books by the cover, when I was younger, I used to watch movies like Matrix or movies like Fast and Furious, things like that. You know, I used to watch movies that had a fast pace to it. You know, it had a lot of action. And going in watching a movie like Star Wars wasn't something that I was fit for doing. I didn't ever think I was gonna watch Star Wars. To me, the movie had like nerds and things like that, and I think that's what really killed it for me, is the guys who like dress up in Star Wars outfits and like go to Star Wars conventions and things like that. I think those guys made me not want to watch the movie. Honestly, it made me not want to watch it because I was like, these are some guys who are like super nerdy, and like, I don't know, it made me feel like the movie was designed for like the nerdiest audience you could possibly find, and it wasn't really like that. You know, the movie actually turned out to be something that I was in love with. I mean, I love the movie Star Wars. The entire, you know, it's like 6 movies to it, and then a bunch of other there's a bunch of other parts to it too, like the Clone Wars and things like that. But my point is, going in with a closed mind, with a closed mentality, I didn't think I was going to watch it. And then a friend at my job was telling me, like, hey man, check it out, man. You can't be like that. You gotta be able to watch everything. You know, you gotta be able to watch any movie and then pass your own judgment. And he was like, don't pass judgment on a movie and, you know, miss out on something that's possibly great just because somebody else gave you a review of something, you know. And so for me, I was like, you know what, you're absolutely right. So I went out and got all 6 Star Wars movies and watched them, and I completely enjoyed them. I do not regret watching them, and I actually own all 6 movies now at this current time. And I absolutely I absolutely enjoy, you know, that series now. And the same thing happened with a movie like Man of Steel, but this time it was me that made myself not want to watch it. You know, the same thing happened with Man of Steel, X-Men First Class, and the Dark Knight trilogy. I mean, watching the trailers for all of those made me kind of look at the movies and say, you know what, I know if I go see this movie I'm going to hate it, but I'm gonna go watch them anyways. I'm gonna go watch them just to see how they effed it up, how they messed the movies up. And when I got to the movie theater, I was more shocked myself than anything. I did not expect the Man of Steel movie to be half as good as it was just by looking at the trailers that were released for it at the time. The same with The Dark Knight. I was like, Bane doesn't look like Bane, the Joker doesn't really seem like Joker, but I mean, those roles were like the best roles that I've ever seen in my life. Like when I watch Bane, I'm more like a lot of people, they have their own opinions on how things are done. And a lot of people love Heath Ledger's role more than like a lot of people love the Tom Hardy Bane role. But me, honestly, myself, I love the Bane. I mean, I know Heath Ledger did pass away right after doing the role for the Joker, and RIP to him for that. But honestly, I think that Tom Hardy perfected Bane, and I mean, if anybody else were to ever try to do Bane again, I don't think that they could ever outdo the Bane that he did, even though it wasn't it was a more realistic take of Bane, and it wasn't the actual Bane that people knew and loved. I believe that nobody can outdo the way that he did Bane. He did it like perfectly. I mean, Bane was a mastermind in reality, and he did that role flawlessly, And I had a closed mind about certain movies. Like, I was at work and this guy was telling me about Twilight. And for y'all who don't know, I used to work at Walmart. A long time ago, I used to work at Walmart, and this guy that I worked with, he was like, man, look at all these. He say, you see all this line full of girls right here? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, they got tents and stuff, and they're lined up to watch this movie. He was like, they're lined up to buy this movie and watch it. He was like, have you ever been to the movie theaters and seen when like a Twilight movie comes out, or when it comes out on like Blu-ray or something, there's like a crazy line of girls trying to get this movie? And he was like it's one of the gayest movies ever. And when he told me that, I was like, well, I guess that's a movie that I'm not gonna watch. And it's kind of because it's the same thing like with Star Wars that I was mentioning earlier. When you see a ton of nerds standing outside with lightsabers, dressed up like Darth Vader, it kind of makes me not want to watch Star Wars. The same with Twilight. I see a line full of girls lined up, ready to watch this movie, and the first thing I think is, you know what? I'm not going to watch this movie because it's not for men. But then I watched it, and it turned out to be one of the best movies that I've ever seen as far as vampire wise. I mean, not including like action and things like that, but I believe that Twilight has potential to be better than Romeo and Juliet as far as like romance movies and things. But I want to thank you guys for watching, and peace.